Chapter matchup featuring the visiting Chattanooga FC and your Michigan Stars FC. Officials as assigned by NISA for tonight's contest. Head referee, Ryan Hunter. Assistant referee number 1, Rob Ruda. Assistant referee number 2, Bradley Borlau. And our fourth official, Jordan Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Active duty and veterans may leave their caps on while rendering the military salute as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
That piece, Marich actually held that up a little bit. Yunchai made a nice run to the near post, just to the inside of it. But it sounds like Marich is just waiting. We'll just take that set piece. Just play it off a defender. Let's get set for the corner.
Yunchai's delivery found Zogos, but took a deflection on its way to goal. Another corner. It's all those big bodies for Michigan Stars that clog up the box. Marich, Firmino, constant. Zogos has scored 3 this year, all headers from set pieces. Yunchai, deeper delivery this time. Not a down. Chance for a shot on the turn by Marich. Almost found the top corner. No deflection this time. Goal kick for CFC.
Ball spent a little bit too much time inside that 18 for Chattanooga. The end, Marich, like you said, just over. He wasn't quite happy with his effort either. I don't think yeah, that's a smart move. Let's move that ball away from Marich because he looks kind of angry right now. Always willing to pressure up top. One of the things that makes him so dangerous as a striker up there.
An absolute bull moose at 6'5", Marich is. Well, Michigan Stars thought they had the throw, and I wonder if Tatenda Makruva picked that up a little earlier, if there was a deflection along the way.
Oh, yeah, must have
Indeed.
been it.
Free kick. So Michigan Stars nearly making it count from an early set-piece opportunity. We'll see if Chattanooga can do the same.
Originally just 9 dropped in ball side for the Stars. Now they bring the full complement back. Marich into the mix. Give him a little bit more height back there. Elias McLeod. At first going to step in. Not a bad idea, though. He's stepping out just in case they go short.
Off the training ground, that's Taylor Gray trying to cut it back for a cross. Could not do so. Throw in for CFC all the same. Long throw-ins, as we've seen this, you don't really work against the Stars with their size. Travis Ward trying to shake loose for a cross. And dealt with by the Stars. Yunchai unable to take a meaningful touch and launch a counterattack. Here's McGrath trying to release Damian Rodriguez. Marshaled back to Makruva. We'll have to dig in and defend again, the Stars. Ward over there at left back. And Gray couldn't get on the wrong side of Shmelev. Taylor Gray has been a nice complimentary scorer to Marcus Nagelstad this year. He has 6 goals. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, be another forward on a team that has one bona fide goal poacher like Nagelstad is.
You think about it as a complimentary score in that situation. The smart idea is draft off a little bit, take the extra space he gives, but sometimes it is tough to come up with those goals, like you say, because you're not going to be the target or the focal point, but take what's given to you.
Nagelstad looking for Rodriguez. Campbell did well, but Makruva tried to play it right back to him, and Campbell wasn't ready for that. So a throw in near the corner flag then for CFC.
Yeah, the last 3 drop balls in Makruva from the back line of the Stars have been a little bit too tight. I think he's a little bit uncomfortable with that. They're not playing him early. It's a little bit later when they finally get it to his feet. And so far I've had 1 turnover from it, 1 they've worked out, and 1 he's just sent long, which ended up being a turnover in the other half. We'll have to see how that continues as this game goes on.
Coming together between Alex McGrath and Jacob Campbell, it looks like. And Campbell went down right away. The Stars bench: Paul Lewis, the substitute goalkeeper, Harry Nevins, Robert Yunchai, Cyrus Trend, Emmanuel Vazdic, Kyle Nelson, Darren Rios, and Alexander Frank, whom everybody calls Frenchie.
I was going to say, you might want to explain that one.
He's been back for the last few matches. An AS Monaco Academy product before coming to the U.S. Campbell, one of a handful of holdovers from last year's Michigan Stars team. Scored once and has a couple of assists this year. I think he's going to try and gut it out. Not the easiest thing to run off, though, knee on knee like that.
No, and part of it, too, you feel whether he felt instability or just a hit of pain. Every athlete for the most part, especially soccer. Imagine gymnastics. Some of the sports are heavy knee injuries. Sports, it's always that worst thought that always hits your mind when you do have a little bit of pain down there as well, or a lot of pain down there as well, and you hope it's just a knee-to-knee contusion type situation rather than actual structural.
Stephen Elias has come into that left back position, heads it out of play, and he'll retreat back to the other side of the pitch. Campbell now back on. Robertson, the right back, with the throw-in. He played collegiately down at Bowling Green. Really good player down there for Coach Nichols. CFC with a free kick.
Yeah, call there from the official signaling Hold him up high. If you're going to have any contact, let's get it down a little bit lower.
Passing play has been good in the opening minutes from CFC. Here's Ian Cerro for Rodriguez. First real challenge for Campbell since that knock that he took. Rodriguez trying to get a cross in. That comes off him. Good work by Campbell, standing his ground.
Yeah, shows he's equal to it. Even wins the goal kick there.
So I mentioned just 1 goal in 4 matches for the Stars. The 1-0 over LA Force, but prior to that, one of the 2 0-0s with Chattanooga. 1-0 against Cal United Strikers. Really good Michigan Stars performance. But couldn't find an equalizer at the end. And then 3-0 at Albion last time out. Chattanooga 5 unbeaten since a surprising 3-0 loss to Syracuse. They've drawn with the Stars, Maryland, and Cal United. 2-1 wins over San Diego. And then 3-1 over 3-2 rather over LA Force, which saw all 5 goals scored before halftime. That's a foul. Yunchai plowing right through the back of Ian Cerro. Realistically, with how good the Stars have defended against set pieces this year, giving away free kicks maybe not the worst thing in the world.
Especially that far out. It's not going to be right on goal anyways. It's going to have to find a head or a foot inside the 6. That's just not going to happen.
And CFC, the couple of free kicks they've gotten on the near side of the field, they've tried to build rather than going direct and serving something into the box.
And we've seen success with opponents of Michigan Stars with some shorter corners over the year. Even you think of the overmatched teams that really shouldn't be competing. It's been those short corners, those short restarts, try to build quick. Much better opportunity for them to be successful.
Off of Stephen Elias. I think that must have caught him in the face from his reaction. Started the season with Valley United. Kyle Nelson, too, came to the Stars from out west. He's available off the bench. Another throw-in. That one careened off of Andres Schalbad. Given up right to Elias McLeod. Trying to release Marich. He's spun down by Frankie Martinez. He's the kind of guy, he makes you foul him, Leon Marich.
He doesn't. He even initiated that contact. Got feet tangled up and won the foul.
Well, it's easy to get your feet tangled up with his when you're defending around him at 6'5". His legs are so darn long. He scored 3 times this year, Marich. One of which was in the Independent Cup against Metro Louisville. Zogos. Nice ball for Yakov Shmelev. Lots of time for the cross. Couldn't find Marich. Martinez the header away. Firmino couldn't keep Michigan Stars in possession. Trying to counter, but good work getting back by Stephen Elias. Here he is making himself available in the middle of the park. That's rolled to McLeod. Little shuffle to Shmelev. And his cross is hit much too deep behind for a goal kick. Well, they're not exactly sitting back and inviting pressure, Michigan Stars.
No, that point of confrontation is pretty much right Always right to his kind of side of Marich. He's starting up high, obviously trying to dictate which side of play they go to. Allowing them to go one way and then squeezing.
It will be a Stars throw-in. Came off of Rodriguez last. Here's Jonathan Firmino. Ball winner in midfield. That's a neat little chip from McLeod to Yunchai. Just a touch behind Marich. Gonzalez has to smack it away. Makruva going long. That was knocked down by CFC. Picked up by McLeod. Trying to slot that through for Marich, who takes out his man. Stripling, the center back. Colin Stripling, a USL League One veteran of FC Tucson and Greenville Triumph. Last year with Stumptown. Almost found Taylor Gray. Shmelev kept it in. Neatly played for Elias McLeod. And Campbell races forward. Attack-minded left back. He'll have options in the middle. His cross goes behind just about everybody. Will be backed up here by Shalbot, who slices it horribly wide. Nice idea, though.
It's a great idea in getting outside backs involved from both sides of the field. Shmelev receives that ball in from Constant, who came across under a great amount of pressure. And that's one of the things that they do so well. It's Michigan Star back line. Possess the ball, have a point with what they do. Every outlet seems to have a good reason beyond just relieving pressure. They're trying to find feet. And that was great ball work across the field. Unfortunately, just a little bit out of the reach of a high player. And then an errant finish. Seemed like about 30 yards high and 40 yards long on it.
Stars throw in. That was Chattanooga's first break forward in a few minutes. 15 minutes played, 0-0. Stars coming closest through Marich off of an early corner. Fizzing one past the top corner. Shmelev against Taylor Gray, trying to turn away from him. He does well. Played that to the feet of Shalbot. And McLeod hit that way too hard. I think he was trying to play Marich. It's a pretty substantial midfield, too, physically for the Stars between Firmino and McLeod. Firmino at 6'1", McLeod at 6 feet tall. Two guys that cover a lot of ground, put their bodies on the line, not afraid to snap into the tackle. Firmino in particular, somebody who isn't above a tactical yellow when need be to set the tone.
We have seen that. Might be a mandate at some point in a game.
Stripling went long. That comes off of Campbell, drops to the feet of Damian Rodriguez, gets caught standing on the ball. Campbell clips away off the chest of Tate Robertson. Might find him again. Gray couldn't really do much with that. Smacked clear by the Stars for a CFC throw-in. How different, Chris, does this Stars team look with Stephen Yunchai back?
Oh, yeah, we kind of talked about after the last game, just between the two of us, talking about, where's the flow coming through the midfield, where's the attack coming through, and where's the penetration coming through as well in the last game. It's kind of varied. I mean, they got it done in the end, but, I mean, with Yunchai now especially going forward, much, I guess, bigger hurry almost when it is on, but same play, a little bit more bite defensively. You got some more attack on this left flank. But this Chattanooga team's interesting, too, because I've watched the last 2 build-ups from them. They're putting 4 across on the front line, which is pulling a 5th defender into the back line of Michigan Stars as well. So you think about it, if you've got Unchai, you have to at least respect that it might make a run at you, and they're still putting 4 up on that front line. You wonder what it would look like without him in the lineup if they're going to take even more risk. Schmelv's gotten up a number of times up that right side. Obviously, they've been looking for Youngchai up the left side. You get an attacking on both sides like that, at least creates some honesty on the other side. They got to pull numbers back, and they can't send the numbers consistently.
There's Robertson, and that really is where you missed Stephen Unchai when he was away. It's the pace and the strength defensively. He creates a lot with the ball at his feet, but the way he covers ground getting back and gets in the way, I think they really missed that.
That little defensive bite right there, too.
That's the way to put it. It's the bite that he brings.
Because if you like to knock the ball around, you're not comfortable thinking you might get a little tackle there right when you get comfortable to let the ball off your foot. And both those guys paid for taking just a half a second too long.
Gray tried to play the 1-2. Back with Constant. That's Travis Ward putting that into the box. Dealt with by Zogos. Slowly but surely, the Stars advancing forward. And Shmelev does well against Taylor Gray. Shalbot had to go backwards. That's good. Change the point of attack, and Zogos will scoot forward as Campbell out of the touchline. Trying to move away from Rodriguez, which he does. In the end, all the way through to Gonzalez.
It looked like he's trying to clip it into Marich. That's not the run Marich had in mind anyways. At first, maybe trying to lay off the Youngchai, but Chattanooga did a good job of really taking him out of the picture, sucking away that space on that side. No real room to operate.
It's Martinez venturing forward. Center back from New York City. That's McLeod just pulling it Gray and giving the free kick away. This is one of 2 matches between these 2 teams here in Romeo that will be played in the last month of the season. In fact, the last day of the regular season, these 2 will play here, October 15th. Could be a match that will be decisive in terms of playoff seeding. We know Chattanooga's in, and all likelihood Michigan Stars will be in as well. If you're the Stars, you'd love to have a home match in the quarterfinals. The race is on, really, between the Stars and Albion San Diego for the 3 spot.
I think no matter what, that game I think will be interesting because even if everything's decided, it's kind of like that chess match anyways of the 2 teams trying to show what are we going to show in case we meet them again and what aren't we and what do we want to find out. From a soccer mind, it could be a really interesting game no matter whether there's points on the line or not. And then, of course, just what kind of strategy are you doing to mess with the other team anyways? You always want to get a good result and play well, but at the same point, it's a lot of management that needs to go on in a situation like that if points aren't needed at that moment.
Campbell knocked on for Stephen Unchai. There's Yunchai's cross. Went to the back post. Volleyed away by CFC. Headed on by Richard Dixon. Getting a bit of joy up the left, Michigan Stars. Fullbacks being used really well. Both Campbell and Shmelev have put balls into the box.
Yeah, those 2 guys have not shown a lack of wanting to go forward. It's kind of credit to the two center backs being able to hold in for him as well, so the midfielders sitting when they need to. Those outside backs don't mind going forward, and they certainly don't mind sending a long diagonal ball.
Marich so high up the pitch. Great way to relieve that pressure, knocking it around to the back, and Martinez advancing up to the midfield line. He's released Gray here on the left flank. Coupled away out of the middle. You're thinking Nagelstad, of course. Gray forced to the byline, away for a throw-in. Toward the left back up there. That's good skill from him. There's the cross. It's right into Matt Constant's forehead.
Shelbutt had gone the ground there. I don't think it was as much as to try to get a tackle as to win a foul. You heard him go down and scream. Officials having none of it.
That would have felt pretty cheap had that been given against CFC.
I don't think he would have minded.
Nothing cheap about that. Oh, Shelbutt? Yeah, for sure.
He's fine with that. It's just a bargain at that point. Talk about getting something cheaply. They're just trying to pick up a few yards. It wasn't on, so all right, we'll just go back to McRuva then.
No, back to the 18-yard line. Not that you're using the football yard lines, mind you. If
that's
you're
not allowed. No, they wouldn't do that.
Ryan Homick, the referee. Can Yunchai get there ahead of Robertson? That's CFC's throw-in.
I can see the motions up there. They want that high press in that situation. You can see Yunchai all the way up that sideline. Marich cutting off the goalkeeper as a drop ball, trying to win it in the middle of that midfield. They don't get it there, but at least they force the pressure to do win an easy ball there in the intersection of the back line.
Nagelstad has had very few touches the first 25 minutes.
That may be by design. Not Chattanooga's, that's for certain, by Michigan Stars.
You have to think if he gets 3 good goal-scoring opportunities, he's going to take at least one.
Yeah, that's the issue with guys like that anyways. You can limit their touches all day long. If they're mentally strong enough, they're still looking for that one opportunity. That's all they need to change the game.
A turn from Elias. Richard Dixon did well, though. The captain sitting midfield player for Chattanooga. And here comes Gray with pace. That's good skill from Elias again. But hit nowhere near hard enough to find Marich, who was really the only player up there. Yunchai was there too, but a non-factor in the play. Campbell won that back well. It's McLeod for Shelbutt. Back with Shmelev. Yakov Shmelev, born in Russia, but he and his mother moved to Alaska when he was 9 years old. Played college soccer out at Washington State. That was just a little behind him. McLeod retreated to win the ball back. Marich, not strictly a center forward that will play between the hash marks, as it were. He will run to either corner. He'll go wherever he needs to pick up possession.
Yeah, kind of a description of what formation he thinks he's playing is he's the only striker up there, I think. And it's effective. You can work off him then. You take what he gives because he's willing to defend. So you can sit in spots where you think he's going to free up a ball, or you could sit into a passing lane. It doesn't matter if he's playing with two, playing with one left, one right, doesn't matter. Just sit off him and let him pressure opportunities for you.
And really, you have to get 90 minutes out of him. The Stars don't really have a true striker on the bench. Nicholas Pechenyi, who is another big guy at 6'5", dealing with a minor injury and is not in the squad this evening, will be back soon. Anthony Bowie should be back soon too, we're told.
Yeah, you talked about this meeting coming up again late in the year. That is actually an opportunity to almost have a full squad for the Michigan Stars. So you wonder if that's just a warm-up for some of those players still getting their legs back underneath them in a game situation.
Shmelev played that a little behind Marich. Yunchai kept the Stars in possession. Constant. Marich heading it down. Elias and then Shalbut. Left-footed cross. A little too deep. Great work by Elias. Did that come up and hit him in the arm? Referee was unmoved by it. Had a shot that went into the side netting.
Yeah, official signal just. Yeah,
Frankie Martinez is going to get booked for dissent.
Talked himself into a booking.
Well, you never want a player to do that. You certainly don't want a center back to talk himself into a really needless yellow card.
Yeah, you got more than half a game to play. You might need that. You might need that yellow card in your pocket for a tactical foul at some point later in the game. But now it's gone from him. Center official just kind of signaling, hey, we're on our whistle now. We've got a card at hand.
We were told to expect to see Michigan Stars, we talked about it, press much higher. That confrontation line is higher. They haven't always pressed, but it's been a little more difficult than maybe Chattanooga would have expected to break away and build from the back. Bodies on the deck. Here comes Ian. Cerro lines up a shot on the left foot, bends it wide. There's a player down for each team. That's Dixon for Chattanooga, the captain.
Yeah, official had called play on. I think in the end he's going to, based by the cards he's holding in his pocket, one is going to be awarded for a reckless challenge from Michigan Stars by the looks of it.
And it's Firmino for the Stars. And I just been thinking, we hadn't seen too many really robust challenges in the first half hour. And Firmino over to make sure that Dixon's all right. He's not feeling all right yet, not until he runs that off.
And that's how you use your yellow card allotment when you're an enforcer. I don't think, I mean, obviously tongue-in-cheek there, but you're in those positions where tackles happen. If you can sit and hold on that yellow card until you need it, what a game, as Firmino did there.
Was Campbell's header for McLeod. Yunchai climbing up for that. Dixon just snuck in there ahead of Marich.
Stars players complaining about the same situation. Tackled a foot.
The big Bosnian, I think, got stepped on.
Made slow whistle with it, so we don't know if it's just a restart from where the ball's at. Now's a good time to get checked on, or if he's actually pulling the ball back and just needed a minute to talk to his other officials. And that's what it was. Since he figured that no build up was happening, then anyways, that's the time to blow the whistle and start the game over if Marich is okay. I don't think Marich is happy about no foul called there, but
no, indeed. Gesturing at anyone within earshot, really. Or I guess if you're gesturing, anyone within your field of vision.
I was thinking maybe eye shot at that point, but
I wasn't sure if that was a word, so I figured I'd let you have it.
His mouth was also moving, to be fair. He's a visual talker.
Oh, we all talk with our hands, don't we? Let's give it up to Elias. Nearly found Marich. Did find McLeod. Oh, Yunchai couldn't take a touch and pull it away from Robertson. In terms of scoring chances, there really hasn't been a whole lot to talk about. Now, 34th minute. I don't think either keeper has had a save to make. Marich off of a corner. Sent one just wide of the corner of the goal. Nagelstad picked that up, and here's Rodriguez trying to get across into the box. That was scuffed. Zelgos hooks away. Back with Stripling. Robertson up from right back. Dixon, the short option, asking for it. Very little movement right now, really static from Chattanooga. Looking for Gray across the way. Shmelev wins in the air. Marich battling and chasing. Sensing a little bit of frustration setting in for Chattanooga.
Yeah, I don't imagine, too, because, again, I talked about earlier, they're setting 4 runners up high, and they're not getting the chances. Even they're kind of stamped out a little bit. It's the best they've got on top of the 18.
Cerro, I thought, might have had room to shoot. Looking for Nagelstad instead. Has to go backwards.
I think that might go along with the frustration side right there. He finally gets an opportunity. He's out of the rhythm. Pulls the ball back out.
Nagelstad. Nice ball for Rodriguez. Rodriguez coming down the line. There's the cross, edge of the 6. Zogos clears again as far as Robertson. Controlled to the touchline. Generally speaking, the Stars making CFC work really hard for anything that they are trying to create. Not much at the moment is finding the mark. Maybe that can change from a free kick here. A little cheap with McLeod putting his hands on Dixon. All the way through to Makruva, who's had very few touches thus far. Really expressive goalkeeper to tend to Makruva.
I mean, his last touch, he had to run outside the box, dribble it back in, then pick it up with his hands. Everything's been with his feet for the most part so far. And they've settled down. The three first passes back to Makruva were all under pressure, not enough space, but the back line settled down as this game's gone on. When they do utilize him, it's early enough. He's got some space, some time to make some decisions.
Oh, and McLeod, he'll be the next to be booked. Going in on McGrath. McGrath from Spennymoor in England. That's in County Durham. Grew up wanting to be a cricketer before coming to the States to play soccer at Appalachian State.
Oh, they had an interesting weekend again at Appalachian State.
No kidding, right?
I don't know if you stormed the field, though, after you beat Troy in the last second. Come on, now you beat Michigan at the Big House years ago. Come on now.
They just beat, what, Texas A&M,
Yeah.
was it? In fact, I saw a sign on College Game Day showing the Appalachian State logo on a bank card and saying the only ATM that'll let you withdraw $1.5 million, which is what A&M paid for the privilege of losing to them.
Soccer side wouldn't mind a little bit of that budget.
You know, you can do a lot worse than playing soccer in Boone
Yeah.
It is one of the most beautiful stadium settings that you'll see across the landscape of American sports. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, if that's the first base he flew into to play there, he's probably disappointed when we saw the rest of the country. Got some nice areas, but that's a hard standard.
I hope it's all like this. No, it isn't.
Is there enough flat space in Boone for a cricket field? I don't really know.
Shalbad and Shmelev. Marich chasing but runs out of room. You know, we've talked about this with Michigan Stars and their backline, how well they communicate. I've enjoyed watching Richard Dixon as the midfield organizer for Chattanooga. Speaking of talking with their hands, he's always gesturing, getting guys in the right spot.
Yeah, so numerous times when it wasn't on, he's that guy that resets it. Not afraid to drop it back. At the same point, if you want to get the ball back, that's not a bad idea. Send it farther back. They got to come through you anyways before they go forward.
He's so confident with that little touch away from Rodriguez.
Okay, kids, you want to be utilized as a goalkeeper? Let's work on your footwork a little bit. And Makruva put under pressure constantly by his own team with balls back underneath pressure, and he seems okay with it. That was one of them in one way, out the other way, big ball. In the end, they did lose possession, but that was worth a chance.
He is a Pep Guardiola kind of goalkeeper.
I think that's the keeper Newcastle needed instead of bringing Pope for some reason. Pope only wishes he has Makruva's footwork.
Yes, but Nick Pope is a meme now. Can't say that of Makruva. Not yet, anyway.
Can get that done. Let's get that done.
Michigan Stars will try and get it done from a corner. Final 5 minutes of the first half. Yunchai, such a good deliverer of set pieces.
Ball's going to whip away, pull out a little bit. Bit of traffic in front of the goalkeeper.
Knocked down, but a whistle and a free kick to Chattanooga.
You want to come in, Gonzalez probably complaining right now about the traffic in front of him. You're allowed to be there. You just can't play the goalkeeper. Can't play his movements. Can't step in front of him. Just like any other player, really be obstruction. But oftentimes a little bit more concerned with a goalkeeper's free movement on a set piece. Attacking player has to at least just hold their ground.
Gotten into the 42nd minute at 0-0. You really don't want to score, or concede rather, this close to halftime. You'd love to score this close to halftime if you're either side. Give the other team something to think about in the locker room. Never want to concede the last 5 minutes of a half, the first 5 minutes of a half. Not that there's ever a good time to concede a goal, mind you. You really don't want to do it then.
I would say just after the final whistle's fine.
Ward's gotten himself on the right side. He was the left back. He'll head back over there now. Campbell back to Elias. And ran himself right into Damian Rodriguez. CFC's first signing of one of their youth players. In fact, his contract includes a stipend to attend school at UT Chattanooga. He's scored once this season. Makruva going a long way. Keeper's got to get back. Does that count as a shot on target? I think it does.
That's a shot on goal.
That's
right
the
there.
first we've seen all night.
He'd had enough. He's like, we are not going into halftime without a shot on goal. I will take that upon myself.
A shot on goal from a goalkeeper, just like we all predicted.
That's right. Yeah, somebody right now in Vegas just stood up and screamed, yes.
You degenerate you. Here comes Martinez on the rampage forward. That's Ward. Dealt with by Constant.
If we see the backup keeper eat a hoagie at halftime on the bench, then we know the
Somehow I knew you were going to bring that up. I just knew. Hoagie sounds pretty good
that
right
does sound
now.
good at halftime.
A hoagie, a Reuben, anything will do. Makruva going long, not quite as long as last time. There's a flick over the top for Marich to try and run onto. He will latch onto it. Ward with him for company. Back with Shmelev. Wondered if he might try and put a deep cross into the box. Went backwards to Constant instead. And couldn't link up with Shalbot. And Gray runs that out of play. Throw in for the Stars.
Bit surprised there. Thought for sure he's letting advantage go. He's going to call it back.
Cross. Couldn't quite find the head of Yunchai. The hands of Kevin Gonzalez instead. So tough to get the ball away from Dixon. Doesn't try to do anything fancy with it. Martinez for Ward's run on the left. Should be a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Just waiting for the fourth official to put his board up. No goals and no major stoppages, really. Here's Gray coming down the line. And this is good skill from Gray. That last touch, a little bit much through to Makruva. Will be 3 minutes of time added on.
3 minutes of stop time. 3 minutes of stop time.
Zilgos on a run forward. Risky, pulled that away from McGrath. Then Yunchai yanks his man down to the turf. That's Stripling. Free kick taken quickly, but nobody really available up ahead to go quick and try and catch the Stars on their heels. Martinez to Gray. Constant, who should win everything in the air, being 6'6". Almost found Rodriguez. Well-placed header by Zilgos. Chattanooga wanted a free kick against him, didn't get it. Campbell, risky ball. Found McLeod anyway. That's good to release Elias. And Marich left it for Shalbot on the right. Three-away man in the box. Tried the cross. That's well defended by Martinez. Given right back, though. Shmelev, will he have time for the delivery? Shmelev stumbles. That's well played by CFC. Only cleared as far as Firmino. Shalbot's on the right again. Blocked out of play by Martinez.
Shmelev had that easy option to the outside, but to be fair to him, you're not far out of goal anyways. He cut to the inside. Well read by Chattanooga. Got converged on immediately and turned away.
That's a long run from Jacob Campbell from left back to deliver the long throw in.
Got to imagine that run was long and probably timed just well enough to try to get within that last minute of stoppage time for this last throw.
First ball won by the Stars. Second was won by Ward. Shot is over everything from Shmelev. Halftime.
That is the end of the first 45 minutes of play.
Well, the first two, like we've been talking about, between the Stars and Chattanooga, ended 0-0. So maybe it shouldn't be a surprise that it's goalless after 45 minutes.
Sensing a theme, and it keeps on going at this point. That there's efforts, but really, like we talked about, really, there's one big shot on goal early from Makruva, or actually late in the half, but some chances both sides, but no one's even gotten close at this point.
Mason and Chris back with you at Romeo High School in Romeo, Michigan, 0-0 between Michigan Stars and Chattanooga FC. At this point, Chris, we said coming into this match we wanted to see goals. We'll settle for shots on goal. There weren't any in the first half. You're being charitable. You could call to tend to Makruva sending it the length of the pitch to Kevin Gonzalez, a shot on goal. What needs to happen for both of these teams to generate more in the attacking third, do you think?
If Kevin Gonzalez would have fallen down and tripped away from the goal, I think that would have went in, shot on goal. Right away. But, really, it's build-up is happening. I mean, just the final third keeps letting them down, doesn't it? I mean, they get to that final third. I think maybe a little slow at the end on the Michigan Stars side, and if that service can come sooner. We've talked about Steven Unchai making those near-post runs so well and so dangerously. Find him early before he gets too close to the goal. If you can get him early enough, maybe he can get a chance onto it, or at that point then find the big man, Marich, find his head as he's making way towards goal as well. On the Chattanooga side, man, they've got 4 or 5 guys high on a regular basis early. I think that's got to be early ball. Let them run. I mean, at that point, if you're going to put 4 or 5 guys up there, you hit a hard enough diagonal ball on the ground so you can win it early and let those guys run and attack the goal, create some pressure on that back line, try to put that ball shallow enough or diagonal enough that it's not right to Makruva, because he's going to have a high line himself. He's waiting for those over-the-top balls. So you've got to be hard. They've got to be on the ground, and it's got to be in an area he's not already loitering.
He won't have a high line. He is a high line unto himself. It's Vasilios Zogos, who's now being helped back up by the trainer. Gosh, you hope he's okay. If you're a Michigan Stars supporter, they don't, I think, have another specialist center back on the bench. I think Kyle Nelson can play there. But otherwise, the other substitutes, Nevins, Robert Yunchai, Cyrus Tran, Vosdic, Rios Frank, and Lewis, the backup keeper.
We've seen it in the past, kind of sitting and pushing Shmelev into the central area. You could also go with 3 if you need to, but pushing Shmelev into that central area, put someone else wide. I mean, Frenchie right away up on the bench putting a jersey on, which that's not a like-for-like substitution, so that's probably not what they're thinking there. That's probably just trying to get ahead for later.
For the moment, they've dropped Firmino into one of the center back spots, which I guess would be the obvious change that you could make among players already on the field. Bring someone else on and let him drop a bit deeper. Taylor Gray on the turn. That's off of a Stars player. Will be a corner.
You can see it right there. I mean, they're asking, how's that not offside? And that's what the Michigan Stars are asking. From earlier, off the deflection, goes back to Chattanooga side, redeflected back. Michigan Stars might have a case for that as well.
Zogos waved back on to help defend this corner. It's Alex McGrath who will serve this ball in. Everybody bunched on the goal line. Different angle with Ian Sarro then. He won't be able to get a ball in either. Back to McGrath. Scuffed away by the Stars. McGrath will find it anyway. Here's Rodriguez on the far side. McGrath to the byline. Zogos touches behind. A corner from the opposite side this time. And McGrath will leave this one for Ian Sarro. He scored in 2 of their last 3 matches, including one of that 3-2 win over LA Force last time out. That was a game that saw 5 goals in the first half. Kind of envy that, to be honest. Stars just bashing it clear. Deepest man is Dixon, the captain. Flag is up. McGrath had strayed. I don't think he agrees with that from his reaction. As of right now, Chattanooga FC in the number 2 slot for the NISA end-of-season tournament. That would give them a bye through to the semifinals. The Stars in the 4th spot with Albion San Diego 3rd. So that would give the Stars a home match in the quarterfinals. It's won back by Elias McLeod. Well done. Here's Shalbad, who was behind Marich. They will win a back throw through Stephen Elias, and Elias might have a shot himself here in the box. That stings the hands of Gonzalez. It's a big challenge that got put in. Before that, it's a corner for the Stars. And Elias on his haunches at the post.
Dude, what a sequence. And really, I think the first one was a double touch. I think he took to beat his defender on the run. The start.
He might have a loose tooth after that. Either that or just trying to make sure that they're all still there.
He's got the poppy seed from the muffin he had this morning stuck in there trying to work it out. It's not a good feeling, that's for sure.
Call the cosmetic dentist in the morning. Headed one home in the Stars' last home game. Late winner against LA Force.
I think the holdup then was that Colin Stripling on the ground still, number 8. He's up now, so the official's backing off, getting ready to play. It's already adding on stoppage time early in the second half.
Stephen Yunchai has been waiting for quite a while to serve this ball in, going back post. Headed back across by Zogo. Second ball, though, won by Chattanooga. All Elias could do was put that out of play. Allowed the Stars to get back and set defensively. The voice that we usually hear over all the rest of the din is Matt Constance, trying to organize the back line and midfield, getting everybody in position for the Stars. He's had a really good season, I think. Former MLS draft pick of Sporting Kansas City. Youth international for both the U.S. and Canada. Given right back to the Stars for a throw-in. Marich tried to head that infield, didn't make the kind of contact he wanted. That's a foot out from McLeod. Elias for Marich to chase. Marich a touch down the line, trying to get across it. He put that over the line himself. That's good defending by Frankie Martinez for CFC. Yeah, that did go over the line. An unforced error by Chattanooga. It was Tate Robertson, the right back. Maybe the Stars can take advantage. Finally a shot on goal in the second half from Stephen Elias. Good stop by Gonzalez at the near post. Ball in. Marich almost got there. Found its way to Elias again. A lot is being run through him when the Stars are in possession. That's a guy that can make things happen. Shmelev for Shalbut, trying to give it back. Shmelev left it behind. He's pulled a little bit out of position here. Gray, though, forced backwards. Trying to give it to Cerro. That's a free kick. Yeah, Shalbut spun down.
That's a lot to ask for. Shmelev, he's playing that in to Shalbut, trying to get a better position. He's pretty quick to get the full tilt. He was on the move already when he got that negative ball passed back to him. Probably a little bit too big of a clip for Shmelev to deal with it.
It's Elias over the free kick. We'll wait to deliver until Firmino takes his preferred position in the box. He held his hand up. He was like, let me get further forward. Elias, that will hang up there and ping the crossbar.
You can't think the casual itty. I don't even know how that goes at this point. With Kevin Gonzalez, he was way too casual. How's that?
Yeah, casualty wouldn't be quite right.
Yeah, I was just saying itty, not a T. I was just driving back. It seemed like I don't think he realized I was going to hit the top of the crossbar. Because that was
either
very
that or he knew
comfortable.
exactly.
Yeah, that seemed very comfortable. You never know what the kind of spin that ball had on it, where it's going to go when it hits that crossbar anyways.
Again, that's over the line for a Stars throw. 10 minutes gone, second half. Throw it again, one by Elias McLeod. It's Campbell to Marich, but couldn't do anything with it. Elias tracking and collecting, though, and now Shmelev, the right back, in an advanced position. Crosses kind of deep. Nodded back to Gonzalez, but that'll be a corner. That crossed the line. You really don't want to be gifting Michigan Stars corners and throw-ins.
Yeah, it's kind of one thing to give up a throw in at midfield. Still not smart, but on an easy turnover. But corner kicks,
thumping header back to your goalkeeper is rarely a good idea. Soft cushioned one, fine, but that was hit a bit too hard to stay in play.
Yeah, that usually gets you on the score line at that point.
First change for Michigan Stars, and this will be McLeod coming off for Alexander Frank. So that's a change in the 57th minute. Second club of the summer for Alexander Frank, having been with Fort Wayne FC earlier this season in USL League 2, and not for the first time, a chance at a corner ends with a Michigan Stars foul.
And that was very risky by Kevin Gonzalez because you could actually see his arm go around Alexander Frank's neck. And yes, maybe Alexander Frank kind of baited him into it and meandered around as he ran around him, but you're right in front of your own goal on a corner kick. Ball hasn't even really been served yet. You want to be drawing attention to being fouled, not getting in the mix on a foul.
That was a really heavy touch from McGrath, and they just got away with it. There's Martinez, who a couple of times in the first half was allowed to really carry the ball forward. And that's a hook out of play. Got away with that, too. Picked up by Frank. Shmelev. Frank's overlapping run. This is good stuff from the Stars. There's the cross. Knocked down. A chance maybe. Elias! Michigan Stars leads! He scored the winner 2 matches ago for LA Force. And he puts the Stars in front 59th minute, although the referee coming over to the assistant on the near side. Will this stand?
Got 6 eyes now that saw 3 different things making the conversation right now. And I didn't see the signal he made. Sounds to me like he's going to call it back. He's going to call a handling call back in the 18. And to be fair, I mean, you think about that. The center official comes over, checks with the 4th official, checks with the AR on the side. whether it's the right call or not, the mechanics of it was the smart thing to do.
Well, the goal's just been announced, but it doesn't count. So we remain 0-0.
You imagine it's going to be a frenetic pace and maybe a bit of chippiness after that goal's called back. Both sides trying to keep their cool but utilize the energy.
See what kind of impact that has on the Stars. That's a great last-ditch tackle put in by Yakov Shmelev. Otherwise, Taylor Gray was in. And how heartbreaking would that have been for Michigan Stars? Have the go-ahead goal chalked off for a foul, then immediately concede at the other end. Might still happen. Cerro's shot didn't have much of an angle and only found the side netting.
And that's that real concern. When it's changed that fast, it seemed like it wasn't held up at all, too. It just happened really fast. A restart, off you go. You know, probably next time you're thinking about that, the captain for the Stars needs to go have a long conversation with the official. More than anything else, not fight with them, argue, just ask for an explanation. Slow the restart down. Make sure your guys have a chance to get their heads, get organized, and understand now they're defending.
Nagelstadt coming back for a touch. McGrath motoring forward. Here's Rodriguez. That's good skill. Nagelstadt tried the run in behind Zogos. Well, that's risky in your own box. He got away with it. Really technically good center back. You wouldn't trust a lot of center backs to move their feet like that under pressure, but he's one you probably would. Unless it doesn't work out once and then never again.
Yeah, never again. I always had a bad feeling whenever you did that.
I wouldn't have tried for a great many reasons. I'd probably end up with whatever the soccer equivalent of the butt fumble would be. That's a slice out of play. Given back to Chattanooga. It's been a much more exciting second half than the first half was, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I'd say so. Hey, either way, we could say we did have a goal this half because he did signal goal. It just pulled it back before they restarted. So we had a goal, but, yes, it was taken away.
Elias had a shot saved and a goal taken away for a foul. Stephen Elias is really taking a beating tonight.
He's that type of active guy that he does, to be fair, put himself in those situations for that to happen. I think he was encouraging that there, too. I think he knew he was in a little bit of trouble.
Makruva still way up the pitch after taking the free kick. Oh, and he's got to hurry back, too. He is way off his line. Rodriguez racing forward. Campbell trying to keep up. Can Frank get to this? He can. I'm floored that is just nothing, and we play on. Here comes Dixon the other way.
Yeah, you got to imagine right now Michigan Stars thinking, that looks a lot like a reckless challenge that happened in the first half that resulted in a yellow card.
Elias went to ground, conceded the throw.
And you could see at the bottom of the screen as the camera panned across, the fourth official having to probably deal with Michigan Stars bench questioning that very fact.
Here's Gray in the box. There's the cross, pinged away for a corner. Cerro and McGrath over there again. McGrath right at the flag. Cerro the short option. Yunchai hammers away. That was just a miscontrol by Travis Ward, I think it was. Slid right past him. Great. Trying to shuffle that on for Nagelstad, but Makruba was out. It's tough to play balls in behind against Michigan Stars for a lot of reasons, but among them, Makruba tends to play right at the edge of the 18 or close to it.
Yeah, that high line that he keeps as a goalkeeper. Of course, then in the air, the size that Michigan Stars back line. They're going most of those balls in the air, and then also their pace, speed, angles, making it difficult to slot balls through on the ground as well.
Firmino, poke through for Marich. Here's Alexander Frank. That's not the right ball. He had Yunchai running straight through the middle.
Yeah, probably the worst part for the Stars is they backed off. They thought that was a lost cause, which it probably would have been if they pressed it, but you could have at least forced Chattanooga into only one option, which would have been the goal kick, instead of allowing Kevin Gonzalez to bring that into his hands. Then he can decide how he wants to restart. That's going to be offside. Then so they're going to call back Elias. It's a set piece off the ground.
Makruva, better looking ball this time. Yunchai backing up, lost out to Robertson in the air. Throw in Michigan Stars. Marich posting up in the 18. Had three defenders around him. Tried to take it to the byline and lost out. Safety in numbers defensively. Here's Jonathan Firmino. Looking for Shalbot up there. Might find him and has. Got taken out right at the edge of the box. Clearance blocked by Elias. That hit the goalpost. '68th minute. Are we on our way to the third 0-0 of the season between the Stars and CFC?
You know, they always say it's hard to beat a team twice.
Is it harder to tie them not once,
times?
not twice, but thrice?
I think at this point, was it 3 times a lady? Is that what they call this game?
Shalbot there squared up to Ward, and that is a foul born out of frustration. I think he thinks he maybe should have had a penalty. The other end, if nothing else, a free kick a few seconds before he went to ground harshly. We'll get a talking to from Mr. Homick, the referee. He's been sent off once already this year. Shalbot has against Maryland. Home match here. The Bobcats won 1-0.
You're right. That case was a frustration foul.
Capital F, frustration.
Yes. Yep. Nice team play short.
Martinez looking for Gray. Yeah, he pulled back Shmelev. Marich's header. Good one to find Elias. Shalbot, can he make something happen with this? He'll try a left-footed cross, back post. Flicked header away by CFC. Long throw-in opportunity for Jacob Campbell.
And the Stars had 3 runners in. One thing, though, it probably made it a little bit easier for Chattanooga is all 3 runners were pretty much on the same line. The ball was kind of tracking in line with all 3 of them, which allowed for Chattanooga to have extra defenders in where that ball is. Need a couple depths, different depths of that run.
Can expect the throw-in to be angled toward Matt Constant. Flew over Constant, flapped at by Gonzalez. Marich goes down to the box, still there. Back to Shmelev. Ball still in the box, shot on the turn, that's blocked. Finds Yunchai, his cross is whipped in. Knocked down by Chattanooga, and they clear. Will spin over the line for a Stars throw-in. There's another really good opportunity for the Stars. Shmelev lost out to Gray, then pulled him back. Shmelev wanted a high five and a handshake. Didn't get it.
I think the issue there was he was expecting that from an attacking-minded player, where a defensive player would have completely understood what he did and had more appreciation for the type of foul he gave.
Frank, good ball.
Yeah, referee held up for just a second for advantage, called it back smartly then.
It's Martinez, center back that was booked in the first half, feeling the right ankle. Tenda Makruva came up a long, long way to say something to Yakov Shmelev. Tenda Makruva is up at the 35-yard line.
I think he wants it. He wants this ball.
The goal was down at Tenda Makruva's end of the field. The goal was not quite where it should be, so the linesman on the far side has put the post back in place.
I mean, there was a lot going on at that stoppage.
I don't know what all that was about.
And that I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad he noticed now.
Well, they kept pointing, and I was thinking, is there an animal down there? What's going on?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. If we get a squirrel on the field, come on, that'd be fantastic.
Or a very good dog.
Yeah. Well, we had the stuffed animal dog at the for the walk-on.
That's
so
right.
We could have, maybe he was left out there. You never know.
Vasilios Zogos, of all people, over the free kick. Used to seeing him head in free kicks in corners, not sending balls in himself.
The official wants it back a couple feet.
Yeah, that'll do.
I'll tell you, they are leaving that right post open for a bent ball around it. Kevin Gonzalez is on the far side.
Yeah, does Zogos have that in his locker?
At the same point, just a little chip in behind is probably just as good for someone to run onto.
Here comes Zogos, off the wall. Shmelev just trying to make sure that does go behind for a corner, which it does.
For how long that took to get that ball off, I'm just glad it wasn't a 70-yard shot over the goal into the woods at that point. So at least that was a dangerous ball, trying to skim the wall as tight as he could, keep that hidden from Kevin Gonzalez, who was already really low anyways, trying to scout out that post.
Yunchai's corner. Cerro flicked the header away. Taylor Gray won't be able to turn and get to it fast enough. Chattanooga has had their first change ready for a while. Alex James, number 30. Still standing at midfield with his pinny on. Elias left it for Shalbad, who left it for Shmelev. Here's Campbell. Campbell's cross, 4 in the box, right to Gonzalez.
I think I saw this in a Simpsons episode. All right, there we go.
I'm not the commentator going crazy during it either. Martinez spreading this wide for Rodriguez. Not there. Martinez brought it down. Frank couldn't beat Ian Cerro to it. Finds Cerro, neat little turn. Elias is with him. Through the feet of Gray. And Cerro's run that over the line. And now the change with James coming on. He'll replace Damian Rodriguez.
Kind of wonder if Shmelev stepping forward for water was as much as trying to get farther down the field as he was to get a drink of water. Because he's definitely in an advanced situation. At this point, he's work his way at the midfield.
If you do it an inch at a time,
that's right.
Almost imperceptible. Ward for Stripling. Tate Robertson. To the credit of the Michigan Stars, they haven't given Chattanooga very much to work with. Trying to manufacture something here. Gray wins out against Shmelev. And Gray, lovely little drag. He'll have a shot. Easy enough for Makruva. Probably headed wide anyway. Covered by the keeper all the same. Shalbud got on the wrong side of Martinez there. Shalbud trying to bring it back for a cross. He goes to ground in the box. Get the sense there'll be chances in the last 12 minutes. Firmino trying to win it back. Cerro peeling away from him. Nagelstad's deep. That's played looking for Gray up ahead, and Constant leaves it for Makruva. Well done. Gray, I think, was offside anyway. Elias keeps it in. Given back to him by Shalbot. Elias trying to go through Dixon. Yeah, good luck with that. Shalbot won that against Ward. Ward recovered, though, against Marich. Can they pin CFC in their own corner? They're trying to. Shalbot has it. It's a corner.
Yeah, everyone from the Stars was that near post side anyways. Almost better off you win that corner off there because really nothing was going to be able to happen. Way too much pressure at near side. No one really was available on the far side. To their credit, it's because they came across the pressure, win that ball back.
Another Stephen Yunchai corner. That's deep. Headed towards the near post. Goes behind. Touched a CFC player last.
It's a good look. Merritt's knocked the ball down. Difficult to deal with for a keeper if it makes it through, which it didn't.
A different look this time with Alexander Frank. Another deep one. Tried to head it back across. Could not do so. Elias sending it in. Headed down. Oh, to the feet of the keeper, but a whistle.
Yeah, officials got to call it because it's head-to-head. Has to make the call. I'm sure people aren't excited about that, but that's what makes
Shmelev
sense.
and Robertson who are down.
Yeah, head-to-head's an automatic stoppage at that moment. I don't envy the officials for trying to decide how to restart this. You imagine one team is going to be very unhappy or the other team is going to be very unhappy with how this restarts. But there's nothing official can do about it.
Glad both guys popped back up and are seemingly okay. We got a scare last night elsewhere in Nice from Jean-Antoine, the goalkeeper for Cal United Strikers. The 3-2 loss to Albion San Diego. In fact, Albion's final goal, Antoine suffered a head and neck injury on the play, was stretchered off. Club released a statement earlier that he was stable but shaken by what had happened the night before. No fractures, nothing broken. And thank goodness, hopefully we'll see Jean-Antoine, who has been maybe the best keeper in the league this year. Statistically, he has been. He was very good when Strikers came here and played the Stars. Finds its way to Ian Cerro. He scored in 2 of the last 3 for Chattanooga. Tried to give that back to McGrath. Found its way to him anyway. Elias is still down for the Stars. Here's James, the substitute, the only substitute so far for Chattanooga. Cleared eventually by Michigan Stars. Chattanooga, I think, wanted handball in the box. They won't get it. Referee just ran away immediately. That's blocked. Bit of a scuff by Shalbot. The only man up is Marich. I think the Stars will make their second change. Kyle Nelson is stripped and ready to come in. Scored a late winner against Maryland on his debut for the club coming off the bench. Could he score in the 90th minute or something again and deliver another priceless 3 points? Campbell's defensive header. It's really all Constant could do with Nagelstad and Gray converging on him. Just a slice out of play. Looks like Cyrus Tran will come in also. Free kick. I don't think the changes will happen before the Chattanooga free kick with McGrath and Cerro both standing over it. Tran and Nelson watching from the touchline, hoping to make a late impact, hoping their teammates can snuff out the threat from this free kick. Cerro's ball in. Akruva couldn't stop that from going over the line for a corner.
Center official waves away the subs.
Training ground move. Nagelstad back to the corner flag. McGrath stumbling away from Elias. Cerro and Dixon, along with Martinez, the two players back deep for CFC. Cerro drifted into that little pocket of space. Robertson. Elias not giving him an inch. Skimmed off of Frank, back to Constant. Gray got a foot in there. Here's Dixon now. Flag up for offside against Alex James.
Now officials allowing the patient substitutions to come in.
Tran will come on for Stephen Elias. And Shalban will make way for Kyle Nelson. What a night Stephen Elias had. Really, the Stars' most threatening player on the night, scoring one that was chalked off. Another shot on goal that went to the near post after a nice move.
Yeah, you wonder if it's as much about fitness just in general, or that he did go down late, got up very, very slow, or if it's just a tactical adjustment because of the work rate that he gave.
Makruva with a good ball for Shmelev. Trying to clip that back in field. I think looking for Cyrus Tran. That's Stripling for Robertson. James motoring up ahead. Bounced off his right shoulder. Cerro tries to win a corner and can't. Goal kick for the Stars, 88th minute. We've only got a few more minutes. We're going to avoid the third straight 0-0 between the two teams. Firmino couldn't quite give it back to Shmelev. James goes flying. Challenge from Zogos. He'll be booked for that. James went absolutely flying. The big Greek sent him airborne. The referee has been holding the yellow card in his right hand for the last minute or so. James is back up, hobbling, but otherwise all right. Can't take a free kick without a ball, fellas.
You always ask the kids, what would make this game more fun? They always have a whole bunch of different answers, and then finally someone says, a ball? Yes. Someone please get a ball, put it on the field. The real disappointing side of this for the Stars is that ball went to an offside position Chattanooga player. So it would have been called offside, but obviously he was already stuck in on that tackle. So Zogos is going to make that contact no matter what at that point. So he trade a set piece and a card for what would have been an offside call.
Another training ground routine from the free kick. McGrath charged down by Zogos, whose foul gave away the free kick, and then a foul called against CFC. That was Stripling, I think. Stephen Yunchai getting back to his feet. Now into stoppage time. Did you catch how many minutes?
So unless something else happens, 6 minutes of stoppage time at this point, yep. 6 minutes of stoppage time. So last time we were up here, I think it may have started out as 6 and ended up being 8 by the time a goal was scored.
I think you're right. The LA Force match a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, yes, Kyle Nelson dropped his head down, but he certainly didn't drop it down to his hip. Didn't see a signal yet from the official what kind of kick is happening.
Now Kevin Gonzalez, the keeper, is down on one knee.
If you're Kyle Nelson smartly, the last thing you want to do is have to be brought out. A set piece like this could be a target for it. I dare say he plays taller than the 5'10" that's listed on the roster. We'll see where this wall sets up, because body shape of Yunchai looks like he's going to try to bend this thing around that wall. I know you can't give up many more players to put a wall, but you've got to imagine Chattanooga would love to have a third person in that wall. And there you go. Kevin Gonzalez had enough. He's like, yeah, we need one. I don't think that's the right side of the wall, though.
Robertson came over. Out of play. Just a little too high. Easy, fellas. Nelson squared up to a CFC player. It's Martinez. Nelson, I'm not sure if he's still angry about the foul that led to the free kick.
Yeah, we are past the first 6 minutes, but of course there's going to be additional stoppage time for the stoppage time within the stoppage time. We'll just see within the referee's discretion how much they're going to award. That's a dangerous ball with mere possibly seconds left.
Anything hit that hard back to the keeper, generally speaking, not a good idea. Robertson trying to get it up the pitch. Stephen Yunchai closed him down. A late change for Chattanooga. Nick Spielman will come in. He'll come on for Taylor Gray. Spielman, a center back. Maybe an acknowledgement that a point is all you're going to take from this.
Nick Spielman checks in for Chattanooga.
First team All-NISA performer a season ago. Getting a little late run out. Shmelev bashes it back into midfield. Drops for Alex James. Yunchai read that well. Zogos away for Marich. Throw in or free kick for the Stars? Either throw in for crossing the line or handball on Dixon for picking it up.
Well, in Chattanooga,
throw in.
Yeah, Dixon just threw the ball to the middle of the field because that's about the best way you can make sure the ball can't be restarted quickly.
It's true. McCruva pumping it forward. Nelson won it in the air. Header back to Gonzalez. Full time. 0-0, 0-0, and 0-0. The three matches between Michigan Stars and Chattanooga so far this season. The Stars had a goal disallowed in the second half. Much more exciting second half, you have to say, than the first, Chris Black.
Yeah, number of spots of just frenetic pace. Wasn't just attacking, going at each other for a good amount. A little bit chippy at moments, which was pretty tough. And then some reckless challenges as well, which were difficult to deal with for the center official. Smartly, a number of times used the ARs and the fourth official as well to try to get things under control. So smart by him at least, but not an easy match to officiate for the crew.
And, we talked about this earlier. There's really no such thing as a bad point in NISA as the season has kind of evolved, and now spots for the playoffs being decided on points per game instead of total points. A point for the Stars is a good point. If you're Chattanooga, you'll take it too.
Yeah, you look at it, at least these teams are going after three. Both went after three the whole time, but you imagine the coaching staffs after final whistle, okay, good, we'll take one. We're good, we'll take one. We'll stay home, but we'll go home, we'll take one. Chattanooga's like, we'll go home, we'll take our one, we'll take it.
What did you think of that little tactical tweak from the Stars coming into this match with them pressing a little bit higher and playing a little further up the pitch?
Well, I'll tell you, it's gutsy because you've got two ties 0-0 already. So what are you going to try to do with that? Get less goals against? No, you're trying to create some turnovers maybe higher up and try to get a couple cheeky goals that way. They didn't come that way, but I think it's going to be tough too. If it's a shortened bench, it's tough now, but maybe as you start to get some players back, maybe that high-pressure work rate is okay because you're going to be able to put some guys on early. You've got a little bit more depth, but it's going to be difficult. You think a guy like Marich, if you ask too much of him, who's going to step up in his spot? He was able to go the full 90, well, the full 96, I guess, or 98 in the end as well today. But it's an interesting wrinkle. Let's see how it works out, especially as they get guys back.
Not getting much easier for the Michigan Stars after this. They're back here at home a week from tonight against an Albion San Diego team that just handed them their heaviest defeat of the season, beat them 3-0 out in California not too long ago.
And you wonder, maybe that's where that high-pressure line that they're trying to establish, maybe that's where it comes from, something they saw in that game that they want to try to establish or try it out on those teams before you get to the playoffs. Because if you already feel comfortable, you think you're in, yes, you're playing for home field. Now it's test out. Let's see what this team can do beyond what we know it can do. So that might be part of it as well.
That's all from Romeo High School. Another 0-0 draw between Michigan Stars and Chattanooga FC. For Chris Black and all of our crew, this is Mason Lowry saying so long. You're watching NISA on 11.